Welcome everyone, I am waiting guys. We have all seen many movies of robots before today, but what if a robot reaches a place where it meets humans? It has not been prepared for humans, but that robot learns from animals and then one day feelings become inside that robot like from humans. So is it humane to reset that robot? Will those feelings last forever? Or will it become like a robot? So let's then, without waiting, today we will all hear the story of a robot who unknowingly reaches a forest that was taught to survive by animals. At the beginning of the movie, we are an island. There were no humans, only animals. It seemed that there has been a very big crash here. Only then here we see the body of a robot, and at the same time we see some animals like beavers. They come near the robot and accidentally start checking it. We are talking about a future where robots were built to help humans. So as soon as the robots were activated, so we see that there were some other robots around, and this robot was created to help humans. That's why she was promoting herself to everyone, telling me how I can help you. My name is ℭ𝔬𝔭𝔠𝔯𝔦𝔪𝔢 and you can call me daily. But in this way, Ross only increased his troubles. He was going to the animal. What does he have to do? She was more afraid of the animals and was also getting injured. The scenes are very beautiful. Guys, every movement is like the butterfly running after the animals, but the animals do the opposite. Now Ross began to feel that whatever species there are here, Ross has to understand their language. This is why she starts analyzing the language here first of all. All the animals started calling him a monster because in a way it was something that could destroy them ever. Despite her best efforts, when she couldn't learn anyone's language, Ross had a transmitter that could send her directly to the manufacturers. Ross felt that she had spread within her mission and was unable to provide her services to anyone. That's why she starts her transmitter. But as if there were a lot of animals in the forest, some of them were thieves. They steal Ross's transmitter and even take out all the body parts of Ross. This is how Ross completes his body, goes to bring that transmitter. In the middle of this part, a very large bear falls behind him. At the same time, a nest is accidentally broken from his hands. That was a bribe. Of those that always migrate, only one egg remains. The rest of the family died. Ross didn't know much about animals, eggs, life. Ross keeps the egg with her, but then another thief arrives, a clever fox. The fox's name was Fing, who started stealing the egg. And they stole very badly. But then the egg started breaking and the baby started coming out. Ross thought that maybe something was wrong with him, but as soon as that small bribe comes out, Ross starts to understand his mother and looks at her with great love. Every day is active somewhere and he thinks maybe he is. Will he be able to give his first order, or will he be able to give instructions? But this small bribe gives his mother and just starts walking around her. Ross knew he would have nothing now. Because of this, she starts leaving here, but the small bribe did not leave Mama Ross. So here we see some possum. Such animals that always act to die if they are ever in trouble, then here. Possum explained to Ross that I give you instructions. This is your first order from today, that you have to take care of this child. You have to feed it, make it do it yourself, and at the same time teach it to fly before it migrates. Ross had his mission. However, she did not care for children. Because of this, she asks Possum that I am not ready for this, and Possum says that no mother is ready. You just have to learn to raise a child. All these things were seen by all the animals of the forest. Now how will a robot finally feed a small child, make itself, or fly? Only this poor little bribe was left to die, and the Aphans felt that maybe this robot could help him somewhere. That's why Fell reaches out to Ross that I can help you. How to do these children is handled. I can tell you. At first, Ross understood that this is a number one clever fox and double-paced, so never accept it. But Pink understands her very well for herself. Buttering does without Q, the little baby goose who was at this time started crying loudly. For hunger and Fox, Pink had taught how to bloom this child. Then Jake Ross began to feel that yes, this can be done relying on Pink. Pink made a good powder for himself. He warmed it up. He called the fish and started eating a lot of food and just hit a punch for a small bribe, took out many latte because this was the bribe food. Now here P starts asking Pink every day what things I should teach, from the end where Pink explains to him that raising a small child can be very difficult. You have to avoid problems first. As we are seeing many things attack this small bribe, after which we see the rest of the forest activities here, how a beaver always cut down a big tree to make its own shelter. All the animals laughed at him. Then Rose also thought she had to build a shelter for her child. For this reason, he did not copy the structure of a beaver. began to prepare a very large shelter of wood. The small bribe was given a name which was very typical and also had some numbers, but it was called Bright Bill inside the shot. Now little Bill would also collect wood from inside his possession and give it to him daily. Rose thus made the entire shelter and then left it inside the shelter for Bill. Do such a painting. Pink made a good place for himself first. I couldn't sleep at all now. That's why he was all over the place. Pink was going to eat Bill by seeing the opportunity here, but now Roz understood how to save Bill. Now here Pink, who was a fox, knew that little children only fall asleep listening to stories. We all know that this is like our... They used to fall asleep listening to stories just as foxes in the forest used to tell stories in the old days. You can't tell a story every day because he's a robot. These things didn't feed inside him, which is why Feng starts roasting a story here. He had stopped every day so that nothing would happen to him. He did not say that his entire family died. She says such things over and over again, but sometimes fake changes these things and never let Bill know that Bill's entire family was accidentally killed by Roz. Now we see that Bill has grown up and he has to go out and teach swimming too. Roz teaches him things like a robot, but Bill never learns natural things. Because of this, if he started drowning in the water again and again, all the animals also saw that Bill lived with a monster. But Bill used to fight the most. She's my mom and no one can say anything to my mom and I'm not even drowning. All I need is practice. He goes to other animals who look exactly like him, so he starts talking to them, but as every child has some talking children inside. By the way, there were many bully bribes inside these bribes and they started harassing the Bill somewhere. He started drowning. Within this time, a crocodile comes here. All the bribes fly away because they used to fly, but Bill gets stuck here and almost that crocodile was going to eat him. Roz comes running, but his leg gets stuck. Then Roz sends his one hand and Bill's life is saved in his quest. If Bill could swim today, he could fly. Now the other two echoes that were here revealed Roz in front of everyone that this who is your mother is a cheater. This is a monster. It killed your entire family. When Bill finds out about this, he feels very bad. He gets heartbroken and asks, why did you hide this from me? And at the same time, I say to Finn, did you know this before? So Finn says that I will make fun of those two in a very bad way. I will eat them. Bill says back, tell me the truth. And after that, they all come to their shelter. Bill asks, why did you lie to me? Now here Ross tells me that Fing had forbidden me not to tell you, and Fing also says, all this happened by accident. Ross was new. Ross doesn't know anything about it. He knew that he didn't kill your parents, and Bill says, I never got to go to the people I beat. It was just because of you that I was always alone forever, and Bill walked away from that whole shelter and his mom Ross. It can be said that only when Ross went near a bribe like himself does not understand that now he is asking for help. Because of this, it goes directly to the place where it landed. Many others like him, those bodies were there. Then Rose comes to know that there were 5 more bodies like her. That is, this whole ship of 6 had returned. Many of these robots have been damaged by water, but one robot is still fine and able to talk properly. For this reason, all the information inside it seems to take root as to which manufacturer they have come from, why they have been locked. They are designed to help people. If there is any problem, they can be sent back to the manufacturer. They also have a transmitter. And now Ross, who was here, asks her friend robot that I have to question you. I'm stuck here. But as soon as she tells this robot her feelings, this robot in front says that you are bad. You have feelings inside you. These things belong to humans, and if you are able to feel this way, then you will have to go directly to the manufacturers because you are defective. But you are a robot inside a reality that has been lost. The feeling that came in her mind regarding her child bribe that she did not do well with Bill, she became confused. The robot could do something else. Before that, Ross shut it down and removed the transmitter inside it so that it could send its data to his company. Now Ross was very upset and went alone and sat on a mountain. Pink comes to him and scolds him too. How can you go like this? Even without telling me. I live with you after all, and if you leave, how bad will I feel? Who is mine besides you? But now Ross understood. Not only is this the place for her, but Frank once again explains to her that we can't give up. There is still so much to learn for this child. If migration comes and she does not come to fly, then the rest will be left behind, and then Rose does not consider herself hard and goes back to her daughter Bill to fulfill her given order. This time she apologizes to Bill and says, please let me help you. At first, Rose teaches Bill to fly by sitting on top of her, but this thing also could not help for a long time because Bill used to fly in the strong wind and go down somewhere and fall. Now here, everyday Pei reaches near a lake to give Bill good flying training and asks him for help. The lake also helps Roz and then teaches Bill that after all, these little wings are fascia, how to get up and how to get down. Roshni had prepared a very good platform from where he could take the Bill for takeoff and at the same time practice. All these things are realized by the animals of the forest that this robot is not a monster but really Bill's mother who cares so much for him. We see an elderly bribe who used to be the leader of everyone. He tells Ross that you have done what a real mother does and taught her to fly, but there are still some things left which are lacking in the bill because when they go for migration, the weather will not support them every time, but sometimes a storm will come, sometimes they will have to stop, sometimes the weather will be too heavy, sometimes they will have to fly at high altitude. Because of this, Ross made the bill and practiced more hard, like tying stones and so on inside its wings and flying with heaviness with water. Bill was finally ready. For its migration, it moves near its species. He greets everyone, and the elder who was a bribe keeps Bill with him because Bill had no family. That's why no one wanted to keep him. Every day he goes out. Every day I wanted to put my Bill around my neck. She wanted to say I love you, how much she loved him, and Bill also wanted to say goodbye to his mother before he met her and wanted to say that she had done very good things for her, but they both couldn't say this from a step back somewhere. Finally, Ross gave Bill a goodbye. He blew it into the air for the last time. Bill took a very long flight, filled the garden, and all these bribes went out for flight migration. There was only one robot. If it was a human being or an animal, it would be dead. Roz was sitting completely alone at this time. Then Pei Feng also came here because they were both left. Now, along with each other, they explained to Fingu that winters are coming soon. All animals will move into their own homes. If you go to your own shelters, you may have to stay alone for some time every day. Roz goes to her shelter, and at the same time, Fink, who had built her shelter for so many years, goes there. All the other animals also hide because there is a very strong storm due to winters. Every day he thinks he should go. Because of this, it starts sending signals every day but also stops them at the same time. Because he thought that he would definitely meet Bill once, but all this signal had reached inside the manufacturer company from where all the robots were made. Here we are shown the life of Bill, which had now reached inside the city. It felt great to fly. One day when the weather was quite bad, because of this, all these bribes reach inside the same company to take shelter, which became the same robots. He had a manufacturing company, but here the approach of bribery proved to be very dangerous because all the rest who were bribes were afraid to see the robots. However, Bill wasn't afraid because he grew up with a robot since childhood. Because of this, all the rest of the bribes started running here and there in fear and panic. The elderly who was a bribe somewhere tells Bill that you understand the command ahead. You have to be careful, because you are the only one who is not afraid of them. Take care of all of you and think about getting out of here because the whole place above was sealed. There was no such thing as a hole to get this bribe out of here. But Bill starts blowing his accords, all these in different directions. The elderly bribe says that you guys go ahead, don't wait for me. I will come because at this time robots from the big ones came here. And they started killing these intruders. His laser light also caused a hole. Bill showed up. That's why he was going to run away with all the bribes. But elderly bribe gets a laser and he dies right there. Where on the other hand we see Roz, which was almost a discharge at night, and he was also having dreams of Bill somewhere. Only then here Pink reaches him and says that I have no mind and it's very cold. I couldn't stay there. Maybe others like me are also in a condition, so should we go along and help them? Roz acknowledges this because he also had to help the other animals. Both Rose and Fake rescue a lot of animals in the mill because Fake could tell about any animal by smelling and Rose could rescue any animal. The animal is in the water. Yes, whether it is inside a hut, inside a tree, anywhere, every day she gathers all the animals and brings them inside her shelter. At the same time, the heaviest bear who used to be, who everyone was afraid of, brings him here every day. But it turns out that the animals of different species gathered here are all fighting with each other, fighting badly, eating each other. Then Fing screams loudly and at the same time almost every day before being discharged, most requests that until spring comes, until this winter is over, we people have to live together. If all of you keep doing this, then no one will survive, so my only request is that no one fight and stay happy here too. These animals accept things and sit in the same place quite peacefully and silently helping each other. Then any animal from anyone He was also raising the child. Spring had finally arrived. All the animals were gone. Every day when he comes out, he is charged and sees that he has returned every day. The migration is over. This means that the Bill will be returned. She watches from afar that Bill has returned with his entire group and he too has become a leader. Roz was very happy, but she thinks maybe she shouldn't go to Bill now. He must have forgotten. For some reason, Dross goes to his own place wherever he built a platform. Now here's the biggest mess. The signal that Dross sent inside the reel was also only for 1 minute. In response to that signal, the manufacturer sent some other robots. A robot that had a lot of tentacles comes down. Her name is Vantara. And he came to take her with him. She tells Rose how the manufacturing company had targeted her signal, and only Rose is such a robot that has lived inside the wildlife, lives near animals, and has also learned many things. So it will have to be completely analyzed and its entire memory will have to be cleaned. Roz refuses to take away everything, but don't take away my memories. However, don't be concerned at all. Your memories will remain safe, which is why Vanthra opted to take Roz along. Then Pink arrives and announces that Bill is searching for you. Hurry everywhere, or Roz says to wait a moment because she forgot some of her belongings. I just get there and run every day. But Vantara already knew he would never return. Each day he rushes and greets Bill first. They embrace and share their experiences. Bill tells you he has much to convey. You pause momentarily and the other animals were together. Everyone was conversing and it seemed as if Roz had returned to his true home. Meanwhile, the other robots began arriving and opened fire on all the animals. All the creatures were prepared to fight all the robots. All the animals get together and start attacking these big robots. But the one who put all those robots in their place, where those robots give the order to blast them. If they blast like robots, then the entire forest gets on fire. Now the beasts run away and Vantra paralyzed Ross and filled him inside his airship. And then I took Ross out of here. She was going to experiment on Ross, take out all his memories. Ross shouts a lot that please don't delete my memories. I have a lot of data inside me. You take everything, just don't delete a memory. Don't separate Bill's memories with me, but she doesn't do that a little bit and separates Ross's entire memory and deactivates it at the same time. Ross is completely shut down. But only then we see that this Bill with all his bribe attacks on this airship and directly enters inside this airship, and after that goes directly to Ross while smearing him. When he sees that Ross is completely deactivated, he goes to him and says, I love you, mom. Please wake up. Please wake up. And we see that the deactivated robot that was actually Ross, whose memories were deleted. The robot also comes alive because only Bill called him. Then he says, let's get out of here. All the other animals also go to a beaver who had almost cut down a tree and ask for help, that there is a fire inside the forest. We have to cut down this tree. At first, the beaver had a lot of feelings that you guys used to laugh at me, but when they got all the knowledge, they finally took her help, dropped that tree down, and as soon as the water flowed inside the forest, she was aware of the entire forest. On the other side, Rose and Belle were trying to escape but were caught by Vandra. But only then does a hand of Roz go straight to the same place where she starts a panel and Vandra gets patches that stick directly to the roof due to gravity. Rose tore that airship apart and then jumps straight down. She tells Bill, you can trust me. I won't let anything happen to you. Put it inside your body every day. After that, a ball turns inside and jumps down from such a height. It was almost completely broken, but still went down comfortably and took Bill out comfortably too. All the animals together. I was very happy to see these two, but the whole forest was burnt down. All the animals say that after today, you will never go anywhere. This is your home. Roz says that if I do not go, then these people will keep sending someone back to find me, and every time such robots will keep coming, then I will have to go there once, and I promise that I will definitely come back. But till now, all the animals are in a lot of attachment than Roz. It was done. They didn't want to send Ross, but Ross is forced to send his signal back and leave the place. Finally, the manufacturer's company arrives to take Ross. Like every time, this time too, when winter comes, all the animals go out for migration and all the rest of the animals live inside the same shelter. Ping tells all the little children stories. Ross and Bill are shown a final scene where we see a lot of robots doing their job as if they have been instructed. Only then a small bribe comes out which starts to find his mom. It was actually Bill inside and he was standing near the GZ robot. She was none other than Ross, and even after her memories disappeared, the feelings inside her still did not end. And she recognizes the heart, gently lifting it from her feet while continuing to love it. This marks the poignant conclusion of this extraordinary movie. Regardless of being a robot or a human, if someone is truly connected to you, that bond remains unshakable. So folks, share your thoughts on this film. Until next time, see you all in our next cinematic journey.